that very slightly, and that should do there. I think that'll do. Yes, yes. I think that's all right. No. Hopefully you can hear us. I think I worked out why these weren't working last week. Now I'm pretty sure it's because I had my microphone turned off. Now I hope this is working. I really do. It might be, it might not be. You'll have to let us know. Anyway, lads, lasses, people with glasses. Yes, we have audio. Brilliant. But you will have to keep us up to date on like how it sounds. If it sounds terrible and the previous audio sounds better, let us know and I'll just pull the microphone out and we'll just run it with the normal audio. Anyway, so lads, lasses, people with glasses, and of course all of those in between. My name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter, and welcome to the Low Energy Livestream. And this is part 13 now. So, what's that saying? I have no idea. It's gone. So, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for coming to see me rabbit on and talk rubbish, as per normal. No, sounds good. Brilliant. Brilliant. Fantastic. Now, I'm not used to wearing headphones, so I might have to like slide these partially off at some point, just because I don't want to be shouting. Bar my voice, yes. Well, of course. You know, my voice is terrible. I do realise that is indeed the case. But anyway, thank you very much for dropping in, Ben, and thank you very much to whoever happens to be there. And we've now got 4 viewers in the chat, so thank you very much for joining. Hopefully I can do some entertaining tonight. Hopefully I can entertain you and guide you throughout the next couple of hours. So, this just feels so weird trying to talk with this headset on. In fact, like, right, we'll try that. That feels a little bit better, but I still feel weird, and the feel like the creaking and stuff on my head. I'm just not used with wearing a headset. You need a throat mic like a low-rent, like a low-rent ginger Britney Spears. Yeah. All right, Albert. Thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much for trying to share this around a bit. It's always massively appreciated. Thank you. All right. So, and what's your take on this, Albert? Does this sound better than normal, or does it sound worse than normal? I'm hoping better, but I will not be offended if I'm told it sounds like shit. Oh dear, I'm spilling my drink. Oh no. Right, I suppose we will start where we always start, with, as of course, this is a family-friendly channel, so today it is just another bottle of Coca-Cola. Right then, I hope you have all got a nice soft drink for to partake within this live stream with me. I think that made sense. I think. Right then. Anyway, let's kind of get on with this a little bit. We'll get the first bit of the stream out of the way, the bit that we'll always start with. And hello viewers, hello. I can see that people are tuning in a little bit there and tuning straight back out because I obviously sound terrible. Right. So the first part that we'll always start a live stream with is, of course, where you can go and get a game in this weekend coming. So I've got 2 that are located on the same site for this week. Both games are set. Both games are being played on the 10th, so that is this coming Sunday. First one we have is Old School versus New School, being held at Campaign Paintball in Cobham. This is a mech event. It is a completely mech event, no electros. Tickets are £20 if you're buying paint on the day, or £25 with bring your own. The game modes will include things like Rush, Capture the Flag, Team Deathmatch, and other modes as well. Oh, no dear. Oh, that's my tea trying to escape. Oh, that was unexpected. Right, so anyway, getting back on with this. Also located at Campaign Paintball on the same day, as I previously said, there is a walk-on, which again is £25 entry, or £20 with valid UK PSF. So again, you're saving money there. I mean, the UK PSF itself at the minute is only £5. The membership's only £5. So if you pick that up, if this is your first time, if it's a first time playing Campaign and you get yourself your UK PSF. The next time that you go, you'd be saving yourself £5 from that. Straight away, you're saving money on that, and you're also supporting a good initiative, which is trying to support UK paintball industry in itself. Right, paint for that event is from £27, or it is also bring your own. Lunch is available, and there is also tea and coffee. And games start from 10 a.m. So if you want to be there, I think the gates open around about 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. Get down, and you can get yourself a good session on field there. Right, we also have a little MagFed session on at District 23 in Billingham, which is actually on Saturday. Now this one, you might not be a paintballer yourself. Hello there, Chan. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing good, man. And again, Chan, I'm not sure if I actually said the other day or not, but thank you very much for ordering us those parts. I will sort you out with cash and all that sort of stuff when my dealer gets back to us. I know the feeling, man. Work is just... Why do I have to go to work? Why can't we just stop off and have fun? You've paid for them. I know I've paid for those parts, but I think I still owe you money for something. I always owe you money. Nearly always owe you money. Right, Albert, yes, you were saying last week that you were going to be going to District 23. Now, I'm saying that, for the feed neck, yes, Jan, I owe you money for the feed necks. Albert, did you go last weekend as well, or was it just this weekend? I can't remember exactly what you said. I remember that you said that you were going, but if it's just this weekend, you'll have to let us know how it goes, of course. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it down myself, but I want to hear how these things go. Ben, you paid, but I didn't. Yeah. I'll let you kind of talk about that for a second. Right, so yes, there is a MagFed session on at District 23, which is located at Billingham. It is £25, including paint. Now, that is literally the price, including paint. Now, I've asked one of the staff there about that, because I wanted to clarify as best I could. I always try and clarify as best I can. Per game, it's 4 mags per game, which gives you a total of roughly 80 balls per game. Now, bear in mind that this is a MagFed event. This isn't open to anything else. It is purely a MagFed event. And it's an afternoon session, so it's a shorter session. It's not a full day session, so if you're looking for something to do, if you might not even be a paintballer yourself, you might be looking at this as a way to try and... Hello there, Martello. I hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll check the rest of the message there in a minute. Because I'm not sure if you're talking between yourselves or if you're talking to me, but I want to get on with this. So yeah, you might not even be a paintballer yourself. You might be just looking for something to get the kids out and be active this weekend, or you may be looking for something to do with the kids this weekend. District 23, if you're in the area, this session, it's a great way to get out, to have some fun with. Just 2 minutes, Richie. Just 2 minutes. And hello there, Nightmare. Hello, thank you very much for tuning in. But anyway, Richie, even if it is just for 2 minutes, thank you very much for tuning in. Right, so yeah, you might just be looking for something to do with the kids this weekend. District 23 for the afternoon session. It's a 3-hour long session running from 4:30 until 7:30. £25 for to get down there, have a good run round. You get to experience paintball if you haven't played it before, and even if you have played, you'll know that is good value for to be able to go down there and run around on a little indoor site and have your paint included in that. That's, it's a cracking deal. But yeah, that is a purely MagFed session. And finally, we have the Southwest Paintball League, which I've just found out about this one, so I've got as much information here as I can. It's kind of somewhere between a tournament and it's somewhere kind of between a tournament and a walk-on. It's being hosted at Skirmish Dorset. I'm forgetting to write down the date of this one, but I'm pretty sure that it's this Sunday. It's not. I'm pretty sure it's not Saturday and that it's Sunday. It is being run as a 3-man style event, but if you're a solo player, or maybe it's just you and a mate, they are also opening up the scratch teams. So they're going to be building scratch teams on the day. So if you want to go down there and take part in a sort of in a tournament style event, even if you're by yourself, you can go down and you can get involved with this. They're not going to exclude you, and it's not limited to pre-formed teams or anything like that. You can all get down there, you can have a good laugh. But of course, if you have a team, teams are also welcome. But it is a 3-man event. Right, if you're interested in it, you do need to contact Oliver Fulbrook on Facebook. That's just obviously to let them know that you're going to be going, because obviously they're going to need to know numbers so that they can kind of schedule things. The cost is £35 per person, or £40 if you're bringing your own paint. Both entries include a burger lunch, and with this one, because it's a tournament, because it's a tournament-styled event, there is actually a prize. There is a prize pool. Now, I don't know about second and third or anything like that, but I'm stumbling over my own words. And hello, extra viewers. Hello. First prize is free entry to part 2, which I'm not sure on the date. There was some mention of September. However, I feel like from some of the other stuff that was said, I feel like September's probably maybe it's been a typo. But yeah, if you get first prize, you get free entry to part 2. There is a trophy to keep, and your team name on a shield, which will then be inscribed with team names of all the winners on all of the further events. So your team name could go down in history. So if you want to get something like the Soggy Biscuits on a shield, and so that in a few years' time you can go back and go, I played with the Soggy Biscuit. That's your opportunity. Go down there and get yourself a funny name on that team, on the shield. Go on, do it. Right. Couple of rules for it. It is 10.5 semi-automatic or uncapped mech semi. 290 feet per second, and half of the day will be sup-air, and half of the day will be woods. So for those players that are used to playing sup-air, this will be your opportunity for you're going to get to play. You're going to get to dominate on what you're used to, and then you'll get to go out into what you're not used to and playing in the woods. And those players that are used to playing in the woods will get to be out of their comfort zone by going onto a sub-air field, and also dominating in the territory that they're used to by playing in the woods. So if anybody goes to that one, please feel free to get back to us. Please tell us how it went, because it kind of sounds quite fun to me, the idea of playing half and half throughout the day. That it just seems like that would be quite a fun thing to do. So yeah, if you're interested in any of those events, there is links, of course, in the description down below. Go check them out. There is some that are links to Facebook pages, some that are links to Facebook groups. That's the best I can do at the minute. I try and get the best information I can for you. But some of those, it'll take you to pages where you'll then have to do a little bit of work for yourself and contact Oliver Fulbrook if you're interested in the Southwest. Which one's it? The Southwest Paintball League. If you're interested in that one, of course, you will then have to do a little bit of work yourself by contacting him. But hopefully, I've set you down the right track. Right, now let's have a quick look at some of the comments here. Right, so go back a little bit. Right, that's talking between yourselves. Right, I said hello there, Martello. Hello, yes, indeed. Richie, you're watching for 2 minutes. Nightmare again. Hello. Now we're not interested in you. Yes, of course. Just use my stream as a communal area to sit and talk between yourselves. Don't mind me. Blow your load after that. Ooh. Only 2 minutes, Richie. You'll be done by now, then. You're talking to Dexter's streams. You know, when that just popped up in the chat there before, and I just caught sight of it as I was like talking through other stuff, I thought you said plugin, and I was like, yeah, people are spreading my chat around, but no, just beating your meat to my live stream. That's just lovely there. Dirty Ginger Lover, of course. Just going to record a gear video back in a second. Nice one, Nightmare. And 10 viewers. Well, we had 10 viewers, and now I don't know what's happening because I'm just getting buffering on my screen here. So I'm going to try refreshing and see if that's it. Or I just don't know what's going on. I don't know if this has died or not. Yes, I broke it. Of course, I do have a unique ability to destroy things that I'm trying to work on, which is possibly one of the reasons why nobody asks me about autocockers anymore, which is glorious. Yeah, I don't have to. I kind of miss being asked questions and getting involved in those things, but I also kind of don't miss being responsible for people's gear. And I've constantly got that much stuff buffering around in my head anyway that I just can't remember what's going on. So you're going to try and get to the Black Sheep games. You know what it is? I would absolutely love to. The fact that there is a site putting on urban games again. Well, I know there's been sites that have been doing it. The other event organisers have been doing it for a while. But I really want to support Paul's stuff. But at the minute, I don't even know what I'm playing myself this year. But I definitely do want to support what Paul is doing with OMG events and the Black Sheep and all that sort of stuff. I think it's fantastic. Paul Strutt's on the next podcast. Yes, I've seen that, Martel. I've seen it. Well, not seen the podcast, obviously, because it isn't uploaded yet, as far as I'm aware. And that's has it? Is it? Is it? But yeah, I did see that you were sharing stuff around saying that Paul was going to be on, and Paul is a cracking bloke. He's doing brilliant stuff for paintball at the minute, and I really think that the guy needs to support him. And if I could, I would love to go to all these events, even though obviously some of them are on the same day, so that would be logistically almost impossible. But I would love to be able to attend all these things. I'd love to be able to go and play all these games. But unfortunately, I've kind of got to pick and choose which ones I go to. When generally, I'll tend to go where my team goes, and also I'm limited by cash flow myself, as we all are. But yes, I definitely want to support Paul with Black Sheep events, but I'm having to see what I can. Yes, and the wife is the other factor in that. I'm allowed to play what she says I'm allowed to play. Unless people happen to kidnap me and take me to events. If that happens, it's out of my control. Yes, but definitely want to support them. I just don't know which games I'm going to be able to support them, where you support Black Sheep events with. I would have liked to have been able to go back and play, which one is it, Valkyrie, at RAF Curtin Lindsay, because that was the last urban site that I played. And it was a great site. I mean, the fact that site, you can tell that hasn't been, it's not been that long since that's been abandoned or decommissioned, whatever you want to call it. So because it hasn't been decommissioned for very long, it's still, at least when I was there last, it was still pretty, I don't know how to explain it. It felt like it had been like an abandoned site. It didn't feel just like a training village or something like that. It felt like people had been there, because obviously people had been. And you'd go around into places and there was like mirrors left on windowsills, and there was bathrooms that were mostly intact apart from where airsofters had smashed them up. Stuff like that. And there was these dark areas downstairs and these light areas upstairs. It's a fantastic site to play on. It's a little bit of a pain that the downstairs, all of the windows were boarded up, which meant that there was only certain access points to the buildings. But other than that, it was a great site. And the idea of being able to get upstairs in these, and there weren't just one odd buildings, having billet blocks, having I don't know what to call them, like apartment blocks, effectively, where you'd have your own individual rooms. The squaddies themselves would have their own rooms, and then they'd also have communal rooms. So you could get into one of those, and there was these big corridors where you'd only have certain points where you get up and down in them and things like that. So there's a video on my channel from when I played that site where I'm down a corridor and I hear something, so I start making my way back up, and it's a couple of players have started coming down the corridor, and I'm cornered. I'm now stuck down somewhere where I have no escape because I'm upstairs, and I'm not jumping out of a window, but I'm upstairs, and my only chance is to try and fight through those guys, and I failed. By rights, I flashbanged myself. I didn't clock with us at the time. I tried to flashbang them. They shut a door. I ran out and flashbanged myself, and not thinking, tried to shoot them afterwards. But I got shot up anyway. But it was a fantastic sight. It was great to go and play on. But it would just be brilliant. I would love to play some OMG events as well, but it's just time. Right, what are you saying here? And you're working on it now. Brilliant. I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably be listening to it tomorrow at work. And welcome back there, Nightmare. Welcome back. Right. Operation Ginger Extraction is a go. Think so? Are you gonna get me out, or are you gonna get my wife out? Join the dark side of Magfed. You know what it is? I'm not opposed to Magfed. I'm not a big fan of the having to carry all the gear and stuff. I like to be quite minimalist for the most part. So stock class, absolutely fine with. Which I realise, I'm probably carrying more stuff playing stock class, but my gear it's a lighter setup. But I'm not completely ruling out Magfed, but it's not totally my thing. When you actually when you look at Magfed specific gear in itself. Although, no, I'm never going to say never. Right. Was going to say you could tell the Gearsoft has been in. Yeah, that was it. I mean, apart from the fact that there was BBs all over and there was remains of some airsoft stuff and little dints and everything, I can't see when the military's pulled out that they would smash up things that the way that they had been. Obviously, it's not impossible, but and obviously I can't even say that that was the airsofters, but you could see people had been in and smashed things up, which was it was a bit shit. I don't understand why people feel the need to go and smash things up anyway. But it was a shame that some parts of the site had been damaged. Right. Dexter joining the dark side. Please don't get him started on his Tawny pump. Yes, Albert. That's it, Johnny. A good few years ago now. It was probably around about the 2012 rise of Magfed. I had so many arguments with the hardcore Magfed players, and as I said before, I've got no objection to Magfed, and I'm never going to say never to playing Magfed myself. And I love playing alongside Magfed players because it does add a different thing to the game. But it's just that playing Magfed specifically for me isn't something I'm particularly that bothered about doing. But never say never. But there was this one guy in particular that had a proper rage boner about Magfed, and I was saying at the time, look, doesn't anybody have a problem with? Would I be allowed to play with a stock class Phantom? Now, if you give us a second, in fact, I'm pretty sure I can reach it. Yeah. There we go. Right. Just in case you don't happen to know what stock class is, it's something along the lines of this. Right. This is a stock class CCI Phantom. Now, to be fair, it's not even true stock class. It is what would be known as modified stock class. And that is purely because this thing has auto trigger. So I could hold down the trigger and I could potentially just pump away like that. Realistically, that's not going to work because to use this, you generally have to cock it, tip it down, push forward, aim up, fire. That's just the way it is. Because generally, stock class markers, not always, but generally, you'll have your vertical feed tube, which will hold anywhere between, anywhere up to 20 shots. And for it to be stock class, it also has to run off CO2 sparklets. CO2 sparklets, they can either be fed out the back, directly out the back of the valve, out the back of the body, or they can be fed through ASAs on the bottom, or you can run them facing that way, Hawaiian style, or vertical stock class, or you stick 12-gram bucket changers like that. All in all, it's a gun that realistically holds about up to 20 shots, more often than not 10, and has a 12-gram CO2 that will, on a good day, you might get 40 shots out of. And I was told that I wouldn't be allowed to use this because I had an unfair advantage. Bollocks. The guy just wanted to play nothing but his preference. And then he happened to go off and buy a shotgun. That thing is basically a paintball shotgun, but fed from the top as opposed to the bottom. It was silly. It was really, really silly. But luckily, either those guys aren't playing anymore, or I just don't see it anymore, so it's not a problem with me. I think a lot of them blocked us. Right. So, either way works. Lock her in a cupboard or extract you. I think it'd probably be better if you extracted me, because if we lock her in a cupboard, then who's going to look after the dog? So yeah, just kidnap me, Chan. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Less of a posy setup. Less of a posy setup? Oh, the dog comes too. Well, we could get him some of those little goggles and have him as just have him as a paint runner. As long as we have treats, he'll come running. He's a bit like me. If there's food involved, he's interested. Well, I mean, he is a Labrador. Just buy yourself a battle belt and some mag pouches. Well, that's the thing, Nightmare. I actually still have most of my old mag fed setup, because at one time I did actually run a mag fed setup. I used to run, for a while I ran a single TPX pistol, and then I got myself a second one and started running an akimbo TPX setup. And then for a while after that, I sold one TPX and I went back down to using just a single TPX. But ultimately, I decided to go just play different stuff. I sold the TPXs on because part of the problem for me with MagFed is the length of time that paint sits in the... Well, the TPX is great fun, and I would recommend one to anyone that wanted a pistol. Wanted a pistol as a secondary for paintball, or even just a primary, because it's fun to run around like a lunatic with them. But with any MagFed, apart from possibly, I think it's the ADN stuff, which is like a chain-fed system, most MagFed equipment, the tension in the mag low. I think I can't remember what they're called. The Zeta mags, they weren't too bad, because most mags, I suppose, you can kind of lock them down so you can take the tension off the mag, off the balls. But with a lot of MagFed gear, you have the problem of the spring applying pressure to all the balls in the mag, which then, if they're in the mag for an extended period of time, can warp the balls. Now, that can also happen with if you've got force feed hoppers. But ADN is based on a sniper platform. Which one is it that's... is it the ADN, or is it something else where they have the chain-fed mags? Because there's not many of those guns around anymore. But with those, because there was one of the lads, whenever the argument of is it mag-fed used to come up, and especially talking about box mags, there was one of the lads who used to post up and say, well, if it has to be something that fits into a mag well from underneath the marker, he had this. It was a mag that you could replace the panel on the sides, and you had like a hopper feed-in panel on it, so you could put a force feed hopper directly onto the side of your magazine, which would then feed through this chain-driven magazine. So there was no constant spring pressure, but that would provide constant feed. But then you could also replace the panel on the other side, so you could have two force feed hoppers feeding into a mag, and it was technically, and it couldn't be argued that it was technically mag fed, even though it was being fed through two hoppers, but it was also being fed through the bottom, into a mag-fed marker. Warped balls sounds painful. I'd go to the doctors. Oh yes, indeed. When you get, you get one that's a bit lumpy, you should always go to the doctors. You use yours as a primary because I find AR style gun too bulky. Well, the thing is, Nightmare, to me, I used to find it depended on what style of play I was playing. If I was playing sort of sights that I knew of, I was playing CQB, having a pistol as a primary, like my HDR50, which I'll be using next weekend. Having bits of gear like that, they're brilliant because you can just peek straight around a corner, like my little gun motion there. You can peek straight around a corner, and there's no need for it to try and wrap around. You can literally just flick straight around a corner, and you're there, you're ready to go. But if you're using something like, obviously, like you said, if you're using a full rifle style setup, where if you try and you've then got to do the whole slicing of the pie, like, and you do that anyway, but you've kind of got to get a bit further on. It's a lot more bulky for trying to move around inside of a building. It's why when you see like the SAS doing like room clearance videos or anything like that, or when you see special forces doing room clearance and stuff, unless they don't have a choice, they will use smaller pieces of equipment for doing room clearance style tactics, because they're less bulky, they're more maneuverable in close confines. But if you're playing in a more open environment, or if you're playing like big games, things like that, sites where that you don't particularly know very well, I'm talking external sites here. An internal site that I don't know, I would still always play with a pistol or something smaller. But for an external site that it's a bit bigger, it's more open, I would always generally go for a longer form, like a longer platform, because it would just feel more comfortable to me. It's more stable for firing off shots better. A more stable shot's going to give you a more accurate shot. If I was going to get anything AR style, I would definitely get the shortest barrel possible. Well, this is it. I mean, if you're going for something that is more of a rifle platform, but you're still getting right up in people's faces, then you can get away with a short barrel. But having a slightly longer barrel on a paintball marker, it does help for a more consistent shot, and also helps you to be a little bit more accurate. You get better airflow behind the ball, or more even air distribution behind the ball. You allow for the shot to sort of equalize and all those sorts of things. And it's also generally going to be a bit quieter. As opposed to, but on the same side as that, you don't want a particularly long barrel, because once you hit over, I think it's about 16 inches, to be honest, probably 14 inches, it's just not necessary, and it's just going to be extra bulk. Apparently there was experiments done years ago, and I'm not 100% on this, but it was something along the lines of you need about 8 inches of consistent ball for to have a good shot. Anything on top of that is, pretty much just porting and that sort of stuff, which it's great for if you're doing stuff like Tony Ball. Those extra bare minimum 4 inches are great for doing things like wrapping around bunkers and that sort of stuff, for tucking in. But I used to play when I first started off, I used to play with a 16-inch barrel, which was great when you're standing in a back can for being able to tuck right into a bunker, meaning that you're still facing front, but you can then pop out a couple of inches and take shots downfield. But because you're able to then tuck your barrel back in, it meant that there was less chance of you being clipped on the tip of the barrel or on the front of your gun or anything like that once you are back into your bunker. But yeah, that's it. I'm more of a CQB player as well. For all I'm not as fast and as light and speedy and whatever you want to call it as I used to be, I still like getting right up on the front lines. That's where I like to be, and it takes us a bit longer to get there, but I like to end up there. So, and I like getting in amongst it. So as a result, if it's like I said, if it's a CQB site or something like that, then I'll generally end up running, if I've got one, a pistol. Or what I was doing up until the point of buying my pistol was I was actually running this, which I like to have a stock on it because it's a bit more stable. But even without that, when I was playing on the indoor sites, it was basically that long. So it's a bit bigger than a pistol would be, but you've kind of got to accept that when it's a pump action. So. Yes, Phantom is life. Right. You're calling playstyle speed QB. Yeah. Well, this is it. I mean, there is a style of speed of airsoft called Speedsoft, which is basically it's airsoft played a lot more like how paintballers play in general. Right. Anyway, let's move on to a few more things here. Right, so I want to give this a bit of coverage. Now, I'm not totally clued up on it, so this probably, I think Richie would probably be able to give us a bit of information here. But I wanted to give a shout out to Nicky T's Truterology. Nicky T is a guy who has been involved in paintball for a good long time now. I'm not sure. I think he is still a pro player, but he used to play for teams like Nexus. He's also played on a few Belgian teams, and he's played on a Belgian team in around about the mid-2000s. I just saw that posted up on one of his pages earlier on. The guy is very, very knowledgeable, and he's coming from a tournament-style background. Now, generally, you're going to find that the guys that have that proper paintball-related skills right down to it, so your things like snap shooting, running and gunning and all that sort of stuff, they're generally going to be your tournament players, and this guy played at a very high level. Well, he has now started a series called Truterology, obviously based off of his name. And what he's doing, he does have a YouTube channel, which I'm pretty sure I have included in the description down below. Yes, he is. From everything that I've seen of him, he does seem to be a very nice bloke. So I'll take that at your word for it. I'm not even going to try and argue that or anything. Everybody says, like Albert there as well, lovely bloke as well as proper down to earth. The guy seems to be it. It's like everything I've seen from the bloke, he seems like he is a really genuinely nice guy. Not like me, I'm secretly a massive twat. But yeah, he seems to be a genuinely nice guy, and he seems like he's trying to do something good in return for paintball. Now, he is making YouTube videos as well, so there is a link in the description. If you look for that down below, go over, subscribe to his channel, and you'll get some of the free side of information from him. Because he's not releasing videos all the time, but he is releasing some content, so you might be able to learn something from him. But as well as that, as I was saying, there is his Truterology stuff, which is currently based off of based on Patreon. So I've got some information wrote down. I will refer to my notebook. If you look down in the description, there is a link to his Patreon, which I've pretty much mentioned, where if you subscribe to it, Patreon, if you don't know, is a crowdfunding sort of site. You can go over and you can subscribe to a channel on Patreon where if you... I think that... I'm not sure if he's got scales on there or if it's just one price range. But for a certain price, for a certain amount of money every month, you will get access to different things from those content creators. Now, different content creators obviously provide different things, but what Nicky is offering is if you subscribe to his Patreon, you can get access to exclusive rewards and giveaways, because he does seem to do those quite regular. There is also skills tutorials, product reviews, and the bloke, as I said, has been around paintball for a very, very long time and has, as I said, has played at a high level. So if he thinks a piece of gear is good, chances are it's a bloody good piece of gear. There's also early or private access to Truterology events and clinics, which, for example, there is actually, I think it's this Sunday, there is a Truterology clinic on. I don't know if I've actually got stuff open. No, I haven't. There is a clinic on this Sunday. Now, it is a Patreon donators clinic only, so you can't get access to this. Like, I couldn't just turn up and play, and it was limited to 20 people. So I'm pretty sure, in fact, when I had a look on the page, it was already paid for. So as long as you were a donator to his Patreon account, you got access to that site for free. Now, you would obviously have to pay for paint or take your own, but then Nicky T and a 1-on-20 training session, and it was for training for our breakout division at CBBS. I got passed some of this information by Dave Brooks Reed. I just want to confirm that there, just in case I'm getting the wrong person. Nope, Dave Brooks Reed. He passed it on. Now I don't know if he's in the chat at the minute or not, but I know that he does watch my streams. So, Dave, if you happen to catch us at some point, please let us know how this went. Let us know how the session goes. Tell us all about it, and then I can pass it on and tell you all next week how it went. But you can go down if you're paying for this. If you're a subscriber of his, you can go down. You can sign up and go and play one of these events, and the bloke will teach you how to do different things. He'll teach you about the different core skills and all that sort of stuff. Like I said before, your core skills when it comes to paintball are things like your snap shooting, your running and gunning, your shooting with both hands, all that sort of stuff. So all in all, it'll help you. You'll have one of the most knowledgeable guys in paintball. A proper pro player can teach you all about how to be a better paintballer. And I think, for the sake of dropping a couple of quid every month, you get the chance of being partaking in giveaways. You can also apparently you can even be featured as a guest on his Truterology stuff. For the chance of doing some of the stuff like that, it's supporting another industry name. I think I'm saying that a bit dodgy, but it's supporting a guy in paintball in the UK who's then off trying to give something back. So it's worth it. If you've got the cash, it's something for you to consider. Right, I'll check some comments. You've heard of him but not seen much of his videos. Well, that's the thing, Nightmare. Up until recently, I don't think he's been uploading that regular. I mean, he's still not a full-on proper content creator, because obviously a lot of his content is on his Patreon account, where you only really get access to it if you subscribe to his channel. But from the people that I know that do subscribe to his channel, it's very, very highly polished. It is very good content. You're talking about stuff that it's not just like me sitting in front of a camera rambling on with, the quality that I have. This is, he's microphoned up so you can hear, even on a windy field, what he is saying. It's all very well demonstrated. He's got access to proper tournament fields, but by himself or with like smaller numbers of people, so that he can do sort of like coaching and things like that. He's also, like I said, doing stuff like giveaways. So if you're a subscriber of his on Patreon, you run the chance of being involved in giveaways where there is potentially high value products that you could win. So you've got things like that. For everything that I've seen of his so far, does seem to be very polished and very high quality. He always makes a point of coming over, talking to me every time I'm at a game and he's there. Nice one, a lot. Because I think the only people that do that to me are people like you and Colin, and generally Colin tries to pick us up, or well, he used to. But yeah, I don't have any like particularly massive famous people that come over and like say hello to me. I just generally get grunts and stuff. Right, what else we got? You're on Patreon for your second channel for your music. Oh, nice one. I didn't know you made music content, Nightmare. But have you got like a YouTube channel for your music content? Because if you do, send us a message or something, and I'll have a look. I can't promise I'll subscribe to anything like Patreon or anything like that, because I am skint. But I'll definitely have, if you've got a YouTube channel for your music, I'll have a look. It's Nicky T who's running the 10-man at Paintfest. Yes, yeah. The fact that Nicky's running it doesn't surprise us. You're saying that he's running it doesn't surprise us when you've then also got like pro teams who are also going along and who are going to be playing. It's like, I can imagine that he's probably been putting in a good word there to try and get some of these big names over to play in the 10-man at Paintfest. I feel like he's probably got a lot of sway in the UK industry Well, not, in fact, not even just the UK industry, in the paintball industry as a whole. He really is cool. Been around for years, worked for Smart Parts, then Planet, then Virtue, and is behind the Paintfest thing. Well, that's it. I was watching his, I think it was his most recent video, unless YouTube's been dodgy. I was on his YouTube channel earlier on, and he was doing like a what's in his bag sort of video. And he mentioned about that, like, he was talking about some of the gear that he's had. Like, he's got some headband that he's had for like 20 odd years. Like, he's really attached to, and like a sandala and stuff that he got from somewhere else. He says, I can't even remember how long I've had it, but I know I've had it for years and years. And like, to be honest, I think we've all got bits of gear like that. But just hearing it from someone that is like really high up in the paintball industry, who's, you know, able to sort of sit down and talk about it, it was just entertaining, just nice. I don't know what more I can say about it than it was nice hearing somebody talk about it like that. Right. So I've got a few more things I want to touch on then. Soho 52. Again, there is links in the description down below. For those that don't know, Soho 52 is a paintball battle photographer. He's not just one of these guys that kind of hangs around on the sidelines and takes shots from the sidelines. This guy, he is genuinely, like his motto is, always where the action is. It's as I said before, me and the lads that I play with like to be up in the front lines like in paintball games. We like to be up scrapping. That's it. A nightmare. I think if you're always where the action is, then you will run into Soho. The guy is, as his namesake, always where the action is. He gets stuck in, and last year, as I understand it, that cost him because I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he was telling us that because of an event last year, he lost one of his cameras. Or I'm not sure if it was a lens or if it was the camera itself. Either way, it was damaged at one of the events, so he lost this really expensive camera. So they had to put money down he had to go out and buy a new camera or a new lens or whatever it was to replace it. The bloke gets stuck in, and there's a lot of photographers who they take amazing shots, but they'll hang back, and obviously they'll try and look after that gear because it's more expensive than our gear. You know, it's more expensive. We're running around with these really, like, it's to some extent, running around with really high-end paintball guns that cost like hundreds, if not like over £1,000. But then when you've got a photographer who's got a $4,000 camera who's getting shot as well, you've got to kind of respect that a bit. So anyway, Soho, I'm gushing a little bit because he is a cracking bloke as well. I'm losing track, man. My mind is messed up. Right. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is Soho he's got a new website because apparently, and I don't know the exact details on it, I just kind of saw that he'd been posting up about it. Apparently, around Christmas, his website got hacked. So instead of him trying to take the time to try and patch it up and to clear it out and all that sort of stuff, he's just completely redone the website, and it's got new features on it and things like that. So if you're at a game and Soho's taking photos, now sometimes, if you're lucky, the photo set will be paid for by the event organizer. Now that's fantastic for it because it means that you don't have to go out and buy photos. But if you're at an event, don't pirate the photos. You know, don't try and like remove watermarks or anything like that. Get in touch with him and get on his website, scroll through the photos, and if you see something you like, if it's you, even if it's just a really epic, awesome photo, don't be afraid to get in touch with them. Get that photo, and then you've got that you can have and to have and hold for. He loves a bit Dex loving. I don't know about that. I think I've got an okay relationship with the guy, but I don't know about a bit of Dex loving. And I'm sure everyone loves a bit of Dex loving. Everybody needs a little bit of ginger in them. Right. But yeah, and following on from that, there is another creator in the UK who, another sort of bit of a name, who are absolutely lovely stuff, and I follow him on Facebook. It's a guy called Craig. you might know him as Artwood. If you go to my YouTube channel homepage, there is actually a link there for a subscribe, and it'll take you to his channel and stuff. The guy makes fantastic content and has been doing so for years now, and he is definitely wrong. he is definitely worth checking out. Now, he posted up something the other day, and you know what it is? I think it's actually a very valid point. Now, Craig is a very good content creator, very, very good. I can't praise his stuff enough. Ginger paintball, yep, that's it. And, right, so with Artwood, he posted something up on Facebook the other day, and he brought up the fact that everything now is online. Now, that's all well and good, but you know, you download a photo and then it sits on your phone, and that's all you do. You know, you download the photo. You know, you might buy it off, say, Soho's website. You download the photo, you put it on your Facebook, and that's the end of it. But maybe it's not going to the extent of things like photo albums and stuff, but nobody seems to have hard copies anymore. Nobody does like I think most people have like that family member who is always wanting to bring photo albums out or show photos off, things that they're proud of that have happened with their family and stuff. Nobody does that anymore because everybody expects everything to be online. But I think what Craig was doing, what Artwood was doing, was taking some of his posters that he's made for events, and he's posting them up. He's putting them into nice frames and then putting them up on the wall so that people can see them. Because, of course, you've got to remember, not everyone's on Facebook. I mean, there's still some guys that I used to play paintball with that I'm pretty sure still don't have Facebook pages. Or if they do, they just haven't added us. I obviously don't mean that much to them. But yeah, so people like what he's doing, you know, and what I would suggest is, and I think I'm probably going to start doing it myself. If I get a really good photo from an event, I think I'm going to start printing them out myself. And I might start putting them in pictures on the wall, or frames, and putting them on the wall. Especially if I can get myself a proper man cave instead of using the spare bedroom, where I'm given wrong for things that I do, like mounting pegboards to the wall and stuff. I'm not saying I get wrong for them, but I'm not exactly told I'm allowed to until I've done it. But yeah, so it might be an idea. It's definitely something that I thought looked really good. Like actually having proper hard copies, because I mean I'm a bit old school when it comes to some stuff. You know, like reading. I've got an e-reader, I've got a Kindle, but I like having a proper book in front of us, and it's a bit the same with a picture. I mean, yeah, sure, you don't really handle pictures for the most part, but still being able to have it on the wall and have a look at it, I think it's just bloody nice. Right. Paintball magazine will be printing pictures at events for 2019. Nice one. The calendar has sparked interest. Well, that's it, mate. I think the calendar was a very nice touch. And I had considered getting one myself, and then I didn't have money at the time and stuff. But I absolutely love the idea of having the calendar. And I'm not sure if it was you that mentioned it, or it might have been me, or it might have been someone else. I can't remember now. But the idea of doing things like, in fact, I'm not sure if it was on your podcast last week, or if it was just on something else. But in fact, it was the podcast where you mentioned about the idea of just like leaving magazines around. Like going to the doctor's surgery, and there's always a pile of things like the Hello magazine. The idea of just like sticking a paintball magazine in amongst that, because you know people are gonna. It might not be now, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, it might be a month down the line. Somebody's gonna be flicking through those magazines and come across that nice copy of a nice hard copy of a paintball magazine that they can flick through and find out information. And it's the same with the calendar. The idea of being able to flick through. And I'll leave a calendar up in a garage at work, or like on your desk in a factory or something like that, or in an office space or something, for to be able to hang that on the wall and have people go, "What's that? Oh, it's paintball." But I thought paintball was just like what you did for stag do's. Oh no, and it can be a conversation starter. It can be something that's a great way to show people that we're not just stag doos. We're not just guys that just want to be Rambo for a weekend. I mean, most of what are, to be fair. But, coffee table magazines, yeah, that's exactly it. Something that can spark an interest in somebody that maybe hasn't thought about it before. I was actually talking to a lad at work today about paintball, and I'm half tempted to take my copy of the last issue of the paintball magazine in and just kind of maybe just leave it on the table where I normally sit for my dinner. And if somebody happens to come along and have a bit read of it, then winning. Right. Love Soho. Always go play the camera whore when I see him. Yes, you do, Chan. You've been able to do that for years. At one time, I used to be the cam whore. I was always the one getting photos taken of us, and now I'm never seen. I never seem to get caught out by photographers anymore. It's not fair. I did. I used to be the one that was always getting photos taken of us, and then something happened, and I think I know what it was, but I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it was at the last Paint Fest I was at when Soho was there. He did mention it was like he was keep trying to get photos of us, and every time he was trying to take a photo of us, I kept running away. But I don't like staying still. I'm pretty sure I've developed ADHD over the years. I used to be so patient. I could sit and do things, and I'd sit and just bored, mindless for hours. And now I'm lucky if I can sit around for like 2 minutes without feeling like starting twitching and wanting to do things and wanting to move. I can't. I genuinely started the low energy live stream thinking, well, I could just sit down and I could have a bit talk with anyone that wants to come in, and it'll be like a bit of a chill sort of thing, and maybe in the future I'll start playing a bit of music and we'll be honest and calm, and then I'm bouncing off the walls when I start talking to you. Well, not literally bouncing off the walls. I'm not at the point of being in a padded cell yet, but it could be on the cards in the future. When I said everyone needs a bit of ginger in them. Well, why not? Everybody does need a bit of ginger in them. No, you can get it in Pepsi Max now. I'm not just talking about yeah. Oh, but it wasn't meant to sound right. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the idea of the paintball magazine being able to printing pictures at events. I think it would be a nice touch, and I think if there's a good picture of us, I think I'd be happy to pay a couple of quid for to actually have. I'd be happy to pay. When you're saying printing pictures at events, are you talking about literally at the event, or are you talking printing them out and then sending them afterwards? Because if you're talking about at the event, I would be happy to fork over a few quid per picture right then and there at an event, if there's a good one of us. I mean, I would like to be able to print it at the event. Now that's brilliant. I would be happy to pay pay for photos being taken at an event. I think it's great. Like I said, for to get a really cool picture of you. I know I've got a couple of watermarked ones on my profile. Of I think you took them at a BZ game a couple of years ago, and there's a couple of me wearing me JT Proteus goggles with the way it used to be with the 05 body, which is gone over there now somewhere. When it was still a raw body, but now I love those pictures because it's the sort of the chrome lens on my goggles and stuff. And I would kind of like to have been able to get that, but it was you said at the time that I'm pretty sure it was you said at the time that you were happy for goggles to be for goggles, for God's sake. You said at the time that you're happy for people to use the photos as long as they didn't try and remove the watermark or anything like that. Yes, it was. I think it was a BZ walk on. I don't think it was a particularly special game, but it was a good fun game. It was. I'm pretty sure the photos it was actually on the train. But I remember it was. I'm going down the route of stories here, but there was one point, the shop opening. I'm not sure if it was the shop opening. There was one point where I remember you had the camera pointing at us. I'm pretty sure you were up on the train and I was down behind a a bunker, and I was sitting there giving it like at you from behind the bunker. I like to try and get noticed. I like to do things I'm not supposed to do. Right, what else? The calendar sparking interest. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I think the calendar is a great one to have around. The same as the magazine. I think they're great for leaving lying around as conversation starters. Traded in for a younger, slimmer model. Yes, the photographers traded me in for a younger, slimmer model. It's not fair. See, I mean, if you look at some, I would love to know if they've actually still got the banner somewhere. But I used to be on some of the UK PSF banners. I'm there, I'm wearing like a blue Dynasty plain jersey. I've got a baseball cap on, using an 05 Eagle, and I'm down beside a bunker giving it fucking pew pew pew. Never see that banner anymore. I don't know what happened to it. I would love to know what happened to it, because I was on that I was on that banner. That always made me feel great. You know, when you go into an event and you walk past a stall and go like, that's me. That's me on that banner there. It was, and the same thing. I don't know if anyone in here can remember it, but Fat Bob's YPC, the Yorkshire Paintball Centre, they started a website a few years ago called ratemygat.com, I think it was, and it was along the lines of like Instagram. You'd take a photo of your gun, you posted it up, and people would rate it if they liked it, if they didn't. And I was on the page banner of that as well with my stock class, with my Phantom. It's like it was really cool. And then people stopped taking photos of us because I'm not cool anymore. It's not fair. Takes 5 months to get a GP appointment. Yeah. That's it. Oh, I'm sick. Can I have a doctor's appointment? Oh, yeah. Would you like one in 3 weeks' time? Oh, I might be dead by then, but yeah, sure. Yes, Chan, you're just sexy like that. And printed at the event. Good quality print. I can also bring along my hard drive with our whole back catalogue. That's cool. So if you've got photos, if somebody has had photos taken at some point, then there's a good chance that you can hunt them out. Scroll down. Nice, same here. I would pay. There. Nice, same here. I'd pay, and plus the wife wouldn't know how much I'd paid. Yeah, that's it. It's easier to get stuff at the event when it's not coming out of your bank account. Notice a random walk on, not sure why. Yes, that's it. Traders in for a young, slim, and Asian model. Chan, I'm pretty sure you're like. I like to read out the comments. I like to read what people say so that people can know what's been going on. And I'm pretty sure you're trying to get like me in trouble. Ginge t-shirts. You know what it is? If people were interested, I would actually consider doing merch. But I don't think there'd be the interest. And I run ideas through my head of things that I think would be quite cool, but if people were interested, I would maybe do them, but not yet. Get some Dex nips on merch. What? Get some Dex nips on March Martello. Is that March as in I should be Mr. March, or was that meant to be merch? Dex is a centerfold. Damn right. In fact, there's a photo of me at Painfest from 2 years ago where I'm lounging with my top off on the grass. It's beautiful. You've ordered Chinese. Is Chan coming over? Is he? How many episodes has it taken for us to click on? Mate, the first time you came into chat I knew. You'd definitely buy one. There we go. Oh, when you're saying you would definitely buy one, are you talking about the photos there? March, the month, yes. Centerfold, that's one way to lose sales. I'm not that bad. I mean, I'm not saying I would boost your sales, and you probably would lose sales. But I don't really have any arguments here. Right. Now, both. Oh, cool. Well, if I get round to it, then obviously I will talk about stuff on the stream. But for what I've actually got to like investigate and see if it would be worth doing and see how much it would cost me or anything like that. I'm losing my pen. Ugh. Apparently, holding a pen or a pencil in your hand when talking to people makes people think that you're more intelligent. I don't think it works. Right. So, nip nip hooray. Not on my stream. Right. So then, I thought, like, I've got to mention this one. You know, I feel like I would be amiss if I didn't. I know I have slightly touched on it tonight already, but you know, last week, not long after I do my live stream, not long after I left the live stream, I'm repeating myself. I was on the first episode of the Paintball Mag's new podcast. And episode 2 is due to be released soon. However, I feel like we're probably distracting Martello here by the man of the moment is in fact in the live stream himself. Put these tags #ginger #nips. One second. There we go. There we go. Those tags are now in the video. In the video data, we now have ginger nips. Right. Oh. But yes, so as I was saying, in fact, I'll give it a minute here because I think that the stream's crashed again. Reckon you should do it. I'd buy a Dexter's PB Lab T-shirt. Well, if I was going to do merch, then I don't think I would. I might have Dexter's PB Lab on it somewhere because obviously then links back to my channel. But I would have to look into how I was going to do this. And I'm getting distracted. I'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, so I'll give you. In fact, I'll talk about that while we're waiting for people to kind of refresh here because I think, like I said, I think the stream's crashed there. I've got a few ideas. Say I'll probably try and do sort of like pictures and things like that. So it wouldn't just be like my brand plastered all over a T-shirt or something like that. And I think I'm a long way from doing from doing jerseys. It'd be something potential, something like a cool idea to think of, or something cool for like maybe his work on. But I think I'm a bit away from a proper jersey. But I think if I was going to do it, I'd probably do it through something like now. I'm not sure if it's just crashed again. I don't know what's going on with my internet tonight. Right. It seems like when I refresh it, it does. I've been thinking about doing the Click Clack Pew jerseys on top. Do it, Albert. I think like I'd be definitely inclined to buy a T-shirt. I don't know how much about jerseys because I generally. As much as I love cool custom jerseys, and it would be the same if I was to even like designing my own. I would love the whole designing process and the owning it and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know if I would ever actually use a jersey myself. I mean, if it was something really cool, then I might wear it as just like a T-shirt for sort of dossing around in. But I don't know if I would wear a proper jersey for playing in. Although I might for some walk-ons and stuff. But a T-shirt. Hello, dog. Hello. You come to see us? Every week you've got to come and interrupt us, haven't you? Yes. Oh, you're so cute. Yes. Do you want to come up? You want to say hello? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Come here. Nah, you're not going to come up. A training jersey could work, like a long sleeve T-shirt. Basically, yeah, I suppose like the that was pretty much how Hostile Kids, how HK started. They apparently originally started off by they were wearing they just had long sleeve t-shirts made up. They had HK printed on them and that sort of stuff, whatever the logos was, and they actually used their t-shirts as proper Tony tops, as their proper playing jerseys, and they used that proper sponsored jerseys as training tops. So they actually did that back to front, but then they started selling merch from what they were doing as well, and now they're superstars. I don't think that would ever happen to me. But you know, I can only hope. But anyway, look, I don't really want to talk about merch. This isn't supposed to be about me. I want to talk about other stuff that is going on. So anyway, as I was saying, I was on the first episode of the Paintball Magazine's Paintball podcast last week. Not long after I finished the live stream here, Martello invited us on for to be a guest on that. So I went on, had a bit of a conversation with him. I was a bit tired, so I was a bit rambly and lost track of my thoughts, as I always do. and I gave a music suggestion, because that's something Martello's not just wanting to do this as purely sitting talking to people for a while. It's a bit of music interspersed with chats with people from the industry, and it's good. It's worth a listen. That's the thing, Ben. It's not actually a video. It's just audio. It's a proper podcast. Now, so far in the first week, it's been very successful. Now, I don't know if Martello's still in the chat. I hope that he is, because hopefully he can actually give the proper numbers on what has been, on who's listened to it. Now, I do know that he posted something up the other day. There we go. Now, can you tell what the deal was with you saying about downloads and stuff? You'd said that somebody had said that if you get like more than a certain number of downloads within a certain period, that's very good numbers. And from as I understand it, that has been completely blown out of the water by what you've gotten just in the first week. Now, obviously, that's the first week, and people do tune into new things. But I've got every faith that the quality of your podcast, it was very good. You know, it was, and obviously, I'm not just saying that because I was on it, but it was right. So, the average podcast gets 140 in the first 30 days. Yeah, and I think that downloads. Yeah. But you'd getting well over that, hadn't you, within just the first few? Now, I've got every faith that you can sustain 4 days in and we're at 139. Well, so all right, so I'm exaggerating very slightly, but 139 downloads in 4 days when the average gets 140 in the first 30. That's fantastic. No, I don't know what more I can say other than that. That is brilliant. And that is to be applauded. And I think I know that you want to improve this, and I know I keep saying I want to improve what I'm doing here, and I'm too lazy to. Yeah, it's not that I'm completely too lazy to. It's just that I'm that scatterbrained, and I've got that much going on all the time and stuff that I lose. I keep losing track of what I'm doing, but. You should go over 140 average for 30 days. Definitely, mate. If you can do 139 in 4 days, you're going to knock that. You are, especially once you start gaining a bit of more of a following, and when people realise what's going on with the app. I mean, Ben's just said there that he's obviously going to go and check it out, and so that's going to take you to the 140 there in what? Well, just under a week now, so it's that's gonna knock that straight out of the park. that's fantastic, and I think it's definitely worth checking out. And if you haven't already, guys, please go over and check it out. I've left the link in the description down below. And if I'm right, where is it? Paintball Mag Podcast. Yes, it's the link that I've put in. The link that I've put in the description. You will have to copy it and then repost it into the search bar, because for some reason it hasn't done a proper like searchable link. I think it's because I haven't included the HTTPS thing. But yeah, if you copy that, post it up. Now, you're obviously going to be wondering, or more than likely going to be wondering, how much does it cost? Well, the thing is, it doesn't cost anything. And you'll get even better value for money. Well, it doesn't cost anything when I say money. But if it's something that you are interested in, as I understand it, if you have Spotify Premium, the live stream itself, when you're listening to it, as I said, there's music interspersed in amongst the video, in amongst the audio. So you'll have a bit of talk with somebody, and then a song plays, a bit more talk with someone else, and song plays, or a bit talk to the audience, and song plays. If you don't have Spotify, like I don't, you just get a short clip of the music, so you get a little bit of a break. It's almost like an ad break in a way. But if you do have Spotify, then you'll listen to the full song, like as if you're kind of like listening to a proper radio show, and it's. I don't know what more to say than go check it out, because I had fun recording it, even though I was knackered when I did it. But definitely go check it out, and it doesn't cost you anything. It's a free app to download. You can listen to it on through a website, but you can also, if you've got Android, you can download it on Android. Obviously, that's what I use, so that's where I download it. I'm not too sure about iTunes or Apple iPlay or whatever they're using at the minute. Yeah, I don't know if you can get it on Apple. I would assume that you can, but it's a cracking little app, and it, as I said, it doesn't cost you anything. So please go check it out. Support what we're trying to do here in the UK. You know, it's like for creators, support each other. For people that are interested in keeping paintball going and alive in the UK, support your producers, even if it is just going and listening to these free apps and free podcasts, all this sort of stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. Right. Unless there's anything else that anybody wants us to bring up on that, if has anybody got any questions that either I can answer or that Martello can answer, hopefully. If Martello's not here, then I can try and answer something. You need to download the Anchor FM app. Well, that's the thing. If you look at it through a browser on your phone, you might be able to get away with using a browser. But you can download an app. It doesn't cost you anything. But you can also then view it via like a laptop or on a normal computer. Right. I've just got invited for a live stream with a music channel. Nice one. I'll check it out as soon as we're done here. Nice one, Albert. Well, if you get it on your phone, then you can listen to it at whatever point you like. Or if you listen to it on a browser on a computer, then fair enough. Ben Waves, got it. Need to download the Anchor FM app. Yep. You've just checked and it works on your Mac. Nice one. So it is available on Apple devices then. But sorted. Champion. Champion. Right. Now, I got a message there before, so I'll just have a quick check what that was, see if it's something attaining to the chat. I think I need to close some things here. Right. I think that would work, Albert. Yeah, I do. I think that could work for it. I'd be happy to have something on that had that. I think it'd be quite nice, especially if you could get the. In fact, I'll talk about that with you off stream sometime. If you're in the Discord later on, I'll talk about it there with you, or if I might send you a message if you, well, afterwards, after the stream. But right. So I think that is the three main topics that I had to talk about there. As I mentioned it briefly there, but I'll give it a quick plug as always. For anyone that's interested, I generally after the live stream, I go over and I've got a a Discord server after the live stream. I go over and I've got a Discord server that is anyone's welcome to come and join. As long as you're interested in paintball, come over, join the Discord server and have a bit of a chat. You can actually sit down and talk with us, not face to face, but ear to ear, or mouth to ear. Ear to ear, or mouth to ear. We can actually have a conversation live. So, oh no, I don't know what this is. Why does this keep crashing all the time tonight? But anyway. So on the Discord server, you can actually have a bit of a chat with us, like a live chat with us as opposed to just text chat. A live chat with us as opposed to just text chat. Also, so I think that's all I really need to say about that. Other than that, there is a link in the description. And as well as that, I also have a Facebook page now. There is a link to that in the description as well. But it is just I'm on Facebook at Dexter's PB Lab. Where pretty much what I use it for is sharing up stuff that I find interesting or stuff that I think might be worth sharing in the stream at some point. Yeah, it's crashed again on my end, mate. Don't know why. I don't know what's going on with it tonight. It's a bit naff, but the thing is, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's from my phone where it's crashing or if it's from my laptop. But obviously, if it's crashing for you guys, then it must be the service. I really don't know why. Which, yeah, it's not great. I really do need to sort of do a bit more work on this. And thank you for the fact that you just keep coming back after this, but but I'm trying. I'm trying. Right. So yeah, I do also have a Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Dexter's PB Lab. If anybody wants to go over there, I share pretty much most of the games that I get told about I share on there first, and then I share the information from there over onto this live stream whenever I do it. Also have, like, if I see a piece of equipment that I think looks kind of cool, if there's any new releases coming out, if there's any information that I think sounds cool, I'm using that site, that page, as somewhere to gather everything together before I then talk about it on a stream. So if you kind of want to get a bit of a heads up about some of the things that we might be discussing on the live stream, you can check us out on Facebook as well. And I'm guessing you just gave yourself away there, Dr. Rush. I can see. Well, I suppose it could be coincidence, but I'm just talking about my Facebook page, and Dr. Rush likes my Facebook page. So thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for the like. Right. So, damn, yes, you gave yourself away. Oh man. You know what it is? If I hadn't actually had the Facebook page open there, you know, if I hadn't had Facebook open there for some reason, I don't even know why I had it open. I wouldn't have even seen that. But you know what it is? Actually, I feel like it's a bit of a privilege, the fact that I actually have, like, I think it's, I feel like it's a right privilege, the fact that I have people like yourself, Dr. Rush, and Art Wood sometimes drops in, and Barker, and people like that like, yes, yourselves actually drop in and sometimes just watch my, like, or watching my live stream, watching my content. That makes me feel good. So thank you for that. You make me feel happy on the inside. And when I'm happy on the inside, then I'm happy on the inside. Right. So now we get to the point of the show where, unfortunately, I've pretty much run out of content. So I do have something else that I did kind of want to talk about. I did touch on it slightly earlier on in the show, because Johnny, I don't know if he's still here, did ask if I was planning on supporting Black Sheep events, which I did mention that obviously, yes, I do intend on supporting Black Sheep events. Unfortunately, there's a lot of factors play into things. I'd love to attend every single game in the UK, but obviously I can't. I kind of got to be a bit selective, so while I might not be able to support Black Sheep events at one of the Black Sheep events, if anybody's in the area, I will be playing some of the District 23 events when I can, because it's quite close to me. It's only like 40 minutes away. So anyway, I've noticed I've dropped a couple of people from my stream there. Right. I thought I'd lost something there, but I haven't. Right. So I'm going to give a shout out to this to the first Black Sheep game of the year, because I think they're worth shouting out. They're worth giving a bit of a heads up to people for. So April the 13th is Valkyrie. It is a Black Sheep events game, and it is being hosted at RAF Curtin in Lindsay, which is in Lincolnshire, Gainsborough, Lincolnshire. Yeah. I've been down. I've played the site myself. It is a cracking site to get down and play on. I don't think it's not as. I don't know how to explain it. It's not as sort of. It's not set up in the same way that some of the other sites are set up. Like, I can't think of what the Go and Postal event is. That I can't remember what the site is that they use. One of you lot might be able to help us out with that. But there's also like Sennybridge. Those sites are set up for fighting in amongst. That's what they're designed for. But Curtin and Lindsay is actually a format, as I understand it. It's a former RAF base. But it was I think it was like a logistical site. I think there's hangars on site, but they weren't something that we were anywhere near. But this site, Cope Hill Down, yes, Cope Hill Down was going postal. That was another site that was designed for Fibua training. I think it is. No, I'm not a squaddy, so I might have that slightly wrong. But it was basically Cope Hill Down was designed and built for training on. RAF Curtin and Lindsay was actually designed as somewhere for basically for people to live, and then they've withdrawn on it. There's Ryhope Village as well. Yeah, well that's it. I can't remember what one of the other villages is that that OMG uses, but that might be the same place. I'm not sure, but either way, a lot of those sites are used, designed, and were made and designed for training on. RF Curtin and Lindsay wasn't. It was designed for people to live on, but that of course then adds a different dimension to the game. That you're fighting in a place where people was designed for people to live on, and because it was designed for people to live on, there is still stuff there from when people were living on it, which makes the game brilliant. You know, it adds some really nice stuff, really nice aspects of the game, because you're fighting in some areas through like a bar. There's sleeping accommodation to fight through. There's bathrooms, you know, and they've got like, they're not just an empty room that's labelled bathroom. You're talking like sinks still attached to the walls, toilets still plumbed in, no running water, but still toilets that are plumbed in. And when I say like you're fighting through a bar, you've got the rooms that they've still got barriers in and stuff, where they've got like the sort of the coloured, and I'm not sure if it's plastic or if it's glass, but like they've still got the barriers up and stuff, so it actually looks like a fighting through an abandoned bar. You can actually there's a proper like housing attachment where the bar staff lived at one point. You've got like the proper mess halls and things like that. You've got a parade square, which, because it is a huge open space, has had I think the 40-foot containers, like sort of trailers that hook up to the back of wagons. They have been parked around on the parade square, so that it breaks that area up a little bit. But you've got all of these accommodation blocks that they've only got so many access and egress points to them. So, and then they've got upstairs and downstairs. They've still got windows in. There's windows that are barriered up and stuff. But there's, as well as all that sort of stuff, there is still the remnants of things that, like, there's still drawers lying around in some of the rooms. There's mirrors on the window frames and things like that. You've got all these sorts of things that are still lying around, so that it makes it feel like it has been a lived-in area and not just a block that's been chucked up to look like a building. It actually makes it feel legit. There's even, like, because airsofters have been using it as well, there's even some of the buildings where they've been kind of set up as if they are like well, not some of the buildings, some of the rooms where they've got when I was there, where they had stuff up on the walls as if they'd been filming like terrorist propaganda on them. It was, you know, like those sorts of where you see the radicals of whatever religion where they've got I think everyone has seen the videos that they posted around, especially after the early 2000s, where there'd be videos trying to radicalize people, and they've been obviously mocked up for the base stuff like that, and rooms for terrorists in, and plans and things like that, and maps on walls and stuff. It's a brilliant site for to play on. It's cracking them on. Now, right, can we get into details? Valkyrie, join us for our first Black Sheep event of the year. This is a scenario paintball event open to all markers, so it isn't just a Magfed event. Although, if you're playing Magfed, playing in an urban environment is perfect for that. It adds to the realism. RAF Curtin on Lindsay, welcome to this newly abandoned RAF base. Very much intact, offers a different feel from many of the bare MOD or more run-down venues we have access to. Like I was saying. The parade square is filled with lorry trailers, making a labyrinth of cover to fight around. The staging area, and that it is interesting fighting in amongst lorry trailers, because you've got things like underneath the trailers and in amongst the wheels that you don't really ever really think about when you're trying to play through stuff like that. The staging area is a large building with power offering shelter and power, and even indoor camping options on a first come first served basis. Now that was a nice touch. The fact that when I was there, you had people that were using some of the little buildings in a building that had power and had heating and stuff like that, and had running water. It was a very nice little touch, especially considering most games that people go to, you don't think they have stuff like running water. Or heat. For the gameplay, we have an exciting format. We just tested on our Magfed players, boasting electronic props, NPCs and collectibles, all what go towards trading a currency system that must be banked physically or transferred from your HQ for a fee. It went down very well. Now, I'm not sure if they're using them or not, but there was one of the lads on my team did help design. I think it was like the currency blocks that OMG and obviously Black Sheep were or are going to use. I'm not sure exactly what the deal is with that, but they were well designed, and they all proper thought out and planned out and everything. I know there's one of the guys, I'm not sure what his name is, but he is he's played an NPC at a couple of their events, and he seems to be really enjoying playing that sort of character. And it's I think that the fact that there's an NPC character from some of the Black Sheep and OMG events is coming to life in their own right. I think that's beautiful. That how many games have NPCs? I mean, most games when it's like a capture the VIP or something like that, it's a dummy on a stretcher or something along the lines of that. There's not many games where they actually have somebody that specifically goes out there to play a non-player character. I mean, obviously, everyone that you encounter on the field is an NPC. they're all, well, anyone other than yourself is a non-player character, really. Although I suppose not technically, because they're all players, aren't they? But have a character who can be captured, or who can be, they have things, that you take them stuff and things like that. That adds a brilliant thing to it. That adds a brilliant feature to games. But the electronic props, because obviously, evening, and you mean, yes, Mad Baz the Scientist, yes, thank you, Tony, and welcome, good evening. But yes, Mad Baz, I think the fact that you've got a character from the games that has come to life in his own right, that is a beautiful thing. That's fantastic, and I think the guy that plays him, he deserves a round of applause, because it's the idea of going out and doing stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know if he's paid or not. I hope he gets something chucked his way, even if it's like a crate of beer or something. I think, for him to go out there and spend his time getting involved with stuff like that and playing a role at a game it's a beautiful thing. I think it is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, and because I've played at District 23 a few times myself, I've got a little bit of experience with some of the electronic props that they use, things like the domination boxes and stuff like that, and they're very well put together and they're very well designed. And I have uploaded videos. In fact, if you watch my HDR unboxing and review video, you'll see me messing on with one of them, well, me trying to claim one of their domination boxes in that video. And they're very robust, they're very good sort of props in games, in-game props. Just brilliant. In 2018, we ran at a loss, and we hope that you will support us in 2019 so that we may continue to run games for you. And this is what I'm getting at. Like, as I understand it, then as I've just read out, OMG and Black Sheep, they tried putting on a few events last year, but they didn't get particularly good numbers. So, for all they didn't get good numbers, they still went ahead and ran the events. And even though they didn't have huge numbers, they didn't get the numbers that they would have probably obviously hoped for. And even though they ran at loss, they still put on brilliant events. We still saw videos coming out from them where people were happy. People left the sites at the end of the day with a smile on their face. And that's what we need in paintball. We need people to have. We need people to be leaving sites with smiles on their faces at the end of the day. Because happy people go off and tell their friends. I mean, unhappy people go off and tell their friends, but would you rather have somebody leaving a site at the end of the day with a proper grump on and go and slag the site off to their friends, and their friends then go, well, I'm not going and doing that? Or have people leave? And I think obviously when people leave with a smile on their face, when people leave and they want to tell people about how good of a time that they've had, it looks good for all, and it just is brilliant. The first event sold out this year, 50 people at the Old Stanley factory in Sheffield, start of next month. But was that an OMG event as opposed to a Black Sheep event? Because I know that OMG events do very, very well. Paul with OMG events, they have a very, very good reputation within the UK Magfed scene. And that seems to just be going from strength to strength. And that, again, that's fantastic. It's because obviously if one side does well, because they're both connected, one side doing well will help out the other side. The props that they're using, it was an OMG event, but that's it. The props that they're using in the OMG events will also then be transferred across into the Black Sheep events, and vice versa. If there's stuff that works in the Black Sheep events, then that'll go along towards helping, or possibly contributing towards helping out the OMG events. Vice versa, versa. Anyway, so getting into the meat of getting into down to what everyone wants to know, the cost, right? So early bird tickets to the to Valkyrie cost £70. Now that was there isn't actually a date of when that information was put down, and unfortunately I don't know when the ticket prices change, but I'm of the opinion of when it comes to, and I know £70 sounds expensive, but I am of the opinion that when it comes down to stuff like playing in rare or unexpected or different locations, like if it comes to like playing on an isolated island, or if it comes to playing on a military site, or things like that, or like in an abandoned shopping centre or a prison, whatever, I'm happy to pay more money to play in an environment like that. And I don't think even then, £70 is not that bad compared to what would be looking at. Yeah, if you look at most normal big games, you're looking at the same sort of price, if not more. But for £70, you're getting, and I think it's 13th of April until the 14th of April. So it's from 8:30 on, I'm guessing that's a Saturday morning, until 16:30 on the Sunday afternoon. So you're getting 2 days of play on a site that you wouldn't normally get to play on. I think that is great value for money. I mean, that's £35 a day for to play on a site. That when are you going? How many people get to play in sites like this? I know that the urban sites aren't a new thing in UK paintball, but there's still a lot of people that haven't played in them, and it is something that you've got to try. You just try it once, and if you're not hooked, I will be very, very surprised on that. It's such a buzz getting to run around in amongst buildings. It's just fantastic, especially when they start getting a bit dark. Yeah, when urban sites start getting a bit dark, when the sun starts going down a little bit, or even if you're just in a really sort of dark, shady area, it's a real buzz. And if you don't have a tack light on, if you don't have a tack light, you don't have a torch or anything like that, it's eerie. So I think if I am going to go to another game like this, then I'm going to have to get myself a little tack light. But I'll probably go for something on my pistol. But then I do run the problem of having to sling my primary, and I never run a sling. I never run like a weapon rig or anything like that. So I'll have to look into how I can sort of try and sling a primary and be able to run around with a secondary. I'll have to look at that and see what I can do. Right. What else we got? Right. Yes. We've already talked about. Oh, here's the dog again. Hello. Have you been outside? You feel like you're a little bit wet? Wanna come up? Come on. Come on. Nah, he's not gonna come up. Are you gonna come up? Come on. Nah, he's not gonna. Right. I'll give him a pet. Right. Then. So. I've been live streaming now for an hour and 40 minutes. Has anybody got anything that they would like to ask us or anything that you would like us to talk about? I shall give you a moment there to respond. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for anybody to get back to us there, I know I plugged it there before, but I am going to plug it again. Last week, I was on the Paintball Magazine's first episode of their new podcast. If you weren't aware of this, there is a link in the description down below. It is free to go and check out. Doesn't cost you anything. You can download it onto both Apple and Android devices. And you can also listen to it over a normal browser. Go check it out. It was good fun getting involved with it, and I'm looking forward to hearing what comes up in any further episodes. Also, Martello's asked up there, has anybody got any questions for his podcast? He's sorting out listener questions. I don't have anything myself, but does anybody else in the chat have a question that they'd like to ask? And also, if you aren't already, please, if you are on Facebook, go subscribe to, go like the Paintball Magazine Facebook pages and stuff. There is also a Friends of the Podcast page. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I just got that the other day, and I haven't really, I've got to be honest, I haven't looked into it that much, but I did like the fact that there was a Friends of the Podcast page. I hope I haven't just gave away anything that I shouldn't have there. I don't think I have, because obviously I'm added, so it wasn't that private. I do sometimes worry about that. I do sometimes wonder that I'm just gonna like put my foot right in my mouth and give away like industry secrets or something. Please, nobody ever tell me anything that I shouldn't know. It's for Friends of the Mag, right, Chapman. And anyone can join, right? So, but there we go. There's one from Ben. How is 5.5 looking from the Paintball Magazine's point of view? I think that would be a question that I'd be interested in, because I think it's well established. My opinion on it. I'll quickly go over it again. We talked about 5.5 with Tommy Webb. Brilliant, champion. But well, I suppose if you're talking about with him, then you'll probably the answer that you've probably gave your side of things. Obviously, I think 5.5 is a bit of an interesting one. It kind of goes both ways. And I think I even talked about it with you last week, didn't I? Obviously, my opinion on things is I think 5.5 seems a bit low, but on the because I know for a fact there's people can rip on mechanical markers. But on the other hand of it, I think that it's going to be difficult to sustain that. But you're going to be able to sustain 5.5 for a lot longer on an electronic marker that's capped at 5.5. So I think they could balance each other out, but I'm definitely interested in hearing what other people's opinions are on them. So once the next episode's once the next episode is up on Anchor, I will be listening to myself. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it there just before, but if you are interested in listening to the Paintball Magazine's podcast, there is a link in the description down below, or if you go over onto whatever you use for the download apps, download the Anchor app. It's the free podcast app, and yes, it is free. It costs you legitimately nothing. Download the Anchor app and just search for paintball on it, and I think there's only three results came up when I searched on it at the minute, so you can search on that. And you'll be able to find the Paintball Magazine straight away, and you can listen to the episode that I was in, and you also listen to the next episode when that's live. So go over, listen to that, and come back. If you can either, well, obviously I'm not involved with it, but I like to know what people's opinions are on things. So if you come back next week and let me know what you thought about it, or send me a private message if you want to, I'm open to that. Or, of course, then what we should do is contact Martello or the Paintball magazine and let him know what you think of it and give him your advice. If you think that there's something that if you think there's something you can do better, tell him that there's something that you think you can do better. If there's something that you thought you didn't like, let him know all that sort of stuff as well. And we can build things here. We can all work together and we can develop things. Or, of course, I mean, there is also that you might do that and you might just tell you to sod off. I doubt it, but, there is possibilities open to everything. Right. I have my own views and chats with Marcus and Nikki. Yeah. Well, I think we've talked about it a little bit as well, haven't we, Ben? You need to play a game that everyone is playing 5.5. Well, this is the thing, Albert. Would you want to play a game where everyone, and I'm talking everyone, was capped at 5.5? Or would you be interested in trying a game where just the electros are capped at 5.5? As like some of these events are suggesting. Because I think I would like to see what it's like if everyone was capped at 5.5 across the board, no uncapped mechanical or anything like that. Literally, everyone was capped at 5.5. I'd be very interested in seeing how that went. Right, Tony. How did you get your YouTube channel to grow in the paintball world? A couple of clarifications on that. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to the Paintball magazine? What do you mean on that one? I know it sounds like a very straightforward question, but obviously we've been talking about the Paintball magazine, so I'm not sure if you're directing that at me or if you're talking to the Martello from the Paintball magazine or what the situation is there. But I'm more than happy to answer whatever you ask in there. It's 5.5 capped electro, uncapped mech. Well, that's the thing, Ben. I'm seeing obviously the way it is now, it's 5.5 capped electro and uncapped mech. And I'm interested in trying that, but I'm also very interested in trying if everyone across the board was also just capped at 5.5. So that would be everyone would have to play electro, and you would legitimately have to cap every single marker at 5.5. I'd be very interested in seeing how that affected the game, because I think you would find, personally, I think I would expect that to be a hell of a lot of movement, because people would just be able to run through lanes and stuff and not get hit. What do I think about the JT quick change lens? Abomination. JTs were not designed to be quick change unless you had practiced. And I've been thinking about doing a time trial on how fast I can change a JT lens. Yeah, I want to see. I worked out the other day about how I can actually do like a countdown timer or a timer thing on Sony Vegas. So I'm going to try doing at some point. I'll get round to it. I promise I will get round to it. I'm going to do a time trial on how fast I can strip and then replace a JT lens. I did one a couple of years ago, and it was for a competition of like who could change a JT lens the fastest. But it wasn't just lens; it was that you had to completely strip and rebuild the entire lens, the entire mask. And I think I did it in under like 2.5 minutes, stripping and rebuilding everything. You weren't allowed to use tools or anything. And it was taking the strap out, taking the ears off, and they screw them off and everything. And having to put the lens in, take the lens out, put the frames on, all that sort of stuff. I don't know if I'll do it on stream, because I think having the headset on and trying to do things, I'd be afraid about knocking things around. But I might do it. I might actually do it, film it this weekend, and I might upload it to my channel so that we can then discuss it. We can discuss it on the next live stream. But yeah, as for the JT quick change lens, I don't know how it's not a JT, is it? It's not a JT lens if it's a quick change lens. Right. Right. So I'll go through some of these and then I'll get back to your question, Tony. Paintball Magazine has a YouTube channel, but videos go back 11 years and not uploaded anything worth in a while. Although we will be resurrecting it again. Well, that's it, mate. I think he should definitely resurrect it. I don't know if he's even still doing anything within the paintball industry, but for a while, I'm sure it was Bradlow used to actually have a GoPro that he ran on top of his. It was fixed into the what would be the flash mount, I suppose, of his camera. So you got the photographer's first person footage as well, which I thought that was quite a nice touch. And I think some stuff like that might be a nice touch. And obviously, I think that you've got the voice for it, mate. I think you're doing some proper interviews, like sit down interviews and things like that would be really nice. I think it would just be. I would be in content that I'd be really interested in watching. And for some reason, nobody seems to be making good paintball content anymore. It isn't happening. And you've got like a couple of YouTubers who are making first person stuff, but that seems to be it now. I mean, you've got like Wolf, Alabaster Slim, Nightmare PB, and Hidden Hedgehog off the top of my head, who are making like sort of on Barker as well, and Artwood and Dr. Rush. Damn it, yeah. So Dr. Rush, Artwood, Barker, Wolf, Nightmare, Alabaster Slim, and Hedgehog. So you've got like eight content producers, but they're all making sort of gameplay content. Although Artwood has seemed to have branched out into equipment recently, like with his TM15 video and stuff, which I messaged the guy and I told him I thought his review of the TM15 was absolutely T15 or not TM15. I'm not sure. I think it's the TM15, but either way, it was a brilliant video. It was very, very glossy. It was very well put together. You know, his shots flowed nicely and stuff. But but the problem is, because of what Tipman TMC. Thank you, Dr. Rush. The problem that we have with paintball is we're not something that people are doing all the time, and so I'm trying to think of how to explain it. But yeah, when paintballers, we're not something that people are doing all the time. It's not like, you know, we're not like cyclists. You know, you don't just get your bike out of the garage and we can't just get something out and go off and do it straight away all the time. You know, it's not like we can just get on my bike and we'll go for a ride and we can make video footage from that, or blog, or all these sorts of things. I mean, even what I'm doing, which I think is just doing my live stream, I think is very, very basic, but I put in quite a lot of time, like especially on the night before my stream, where I sit and I go through for a couple of hours normally before my stream. I go through and I try and gather stuff that I can talk about, because I always forget, and I could do this over the weekend, like a couple of minutes here and there, but I always forget and end up rushing it all on the night time before the stream. But I sit and I try and gather all the stuff. I can. There's also all of the editing that goes into stuff, and when you're also holding a full-time job down, which most paintball YouTubers are doing, it's difficult to find the time to do all this sort of stuff. So to have content coming out all the time, you'll tend to find most paintball YouTubers. That's it. Basic but very enjoyable. That's it. So I mean, that's. Although, are you talking about my content there? Because I'll take that as a compliment. That's it. What I'm doing it's very basic, but I hope I can entertain you. So I hope it's enjoyable for you to watch. But what most paintball producers are doing, they've got like some people are making content that, I mean, some people it's like I said, very, very glossy, and some people you can see they put in untold hours worth of content. But that's the thing, they're putting in a hell of a lot of effort to make a couple of minute videos, and some people might be putting in like weeks and weeks worth of effort to make one video that is 5 minutes long. So without a team of people that are producing stuff and pumping stuff out, you can't have regular content of that easily. So it's we're not started off with content, is what I'm trying to get at. We can always have more paintball content because there's people are interested in it. People want to see it. People want to see these things and enjoy it. And it's, you can get your paintball fix without having to go to a range or go to a field or anything like that. I think I'm starting to struggle with what I'm talking about. I'm getting tired, but I hope you understand what I mean. But right, let's get back onto some of these. Right. I'll answer your question then, Tony. From my own perspective, how did you get a YouTube channel to grow in the paintball world? The simplest answer to that, mate, is I have no idea. And how did I get my YouTube channel to grow in the paintball world? Mate, I've got like 150 subscribers. In fact, I don't even have 150 subscribers. I think what I would say is one of the easiest ways for a YouTuber to grow now is for someone else to give them a shout out. Now, I'll use the Hidden Hedgehog as an example of that. Now, I have every faith, because of the content that the Hidden Hedgehog puts out, that he was destined to become a big-time YouTuber. Well, at least a big-time for paintball standards, anyway. Because his content is very, very good. But I do believe that the combination of somehow, and obviously I don't know the backstory, I don't know everything that happened, but he seemed to kind of fall in with Alabaster Slim. Now, to me, I would put down a lot of Ashley's early success was what spurred him to get such immediate, massive growth. It was the fact that, yes, he had very good content, and he was growing fast as it was, but he got signal boosted by somebody that was much, much larger at the time. So that shot him straight up there. There was a lot of people saw, because of Alabaster Slim, giving him a shout out and going, this guy's making good stuff. All of a sudden, people saw him and went, this guy's making good stuff. But then, he was also picked up by Novrich. Now, Alabaster Slim, for paintball standards, is big. I think he's got knocking on 200,000 subscribers. But then Novrich is sitting at like over 1 million. And yes, Novrich is an airsofter, but he's also a sniper. And by the looks of it, Novrich can appreciate sniping ability in paintball as much as he appreciates it in airsoft. And Novrich gave him a shout out as well. So if you actually watch the Hidden Hedgehogs videos, you'll tend to find that there'll be a lot of airsofters commenting in his threads as well. So there was a lot of people that came over because, again, those people also appreciate good sniping ability, even though it's not the game that they play themselves. You can appreciate something without actually doing it yourself. It's like, I can appreciate like Magfed gear without being particularly a Magfed player myself. I think it looks really cool. It's just not for me. But that's not to say, I mean, there's even like airsofters that I watch because I think they make very good content. But I'm not particularly in airsoft. So for me, I think that one of the easiest ways to grow on YouTube is to get signal boosted by someone else, but with the condition of you have to have good content in the first place. Otherwise, people will look at your stuff and go, nah. But as for myself, I don't. I'm not a big YouTuber. I doubt I'll ever will be. I'm doing this for fun, and that's it. It would be nice if I got bigger on YouTube, but realistically, I don't think it would. I don't think it'll happen. There is this, as much as I was saying, there's not a lot of people that are making good content, and there's a lot of people that are making mediocre content. And I'm not going to name names on that because there isn't, frankly, off the top of my head, there isn't anybody that I would name as mediocre content. But there is a lot of people that are making content that isn't at a high level. And this is what I'm trying to say. And I hope I don't sound like a dickhead from that. I don't consider what I'm doing to be high level content. But I hope that's possibly answered your question. I think, I just think like if people see your content and like it and share it, I think that's one of the best things that can be done for spreading your brand around. Right. You agree the JT change is a thing you practice? Yes, it is. Going back to the JT quick changes, the other thing, you can be as practiced as you like in JT. Well, obviously practice still helps, but when it comes to changing JT lenses, the other thing is if your frame is a little bit older, the flex a lot easier, which means that you can then pop lenses out a lot easier. I ran a Delta Force and had to change 80 JT lenses. I've got to be a master. Oh, yeah. You see, I worked at a Delta Force for a couple of sessions before I never went back, and we didn't go in for the changing them. We literally just dunked them into a bucket of soapy water, and that was it. And I never really did the goggle cleaning. I was like working on the guns at the time, but yeah. Right, like I said, guys, I probably won't do the video on live stream. I probably won't do the strip down on live stream, but I'll probably do it as it's like a video, and I'll put just a video, standalone video. I'll upload that, and we'll see how I get on. And hey, if anyone else has got a set of JTs, I'd be more than happy for to run it as like a bit of a competition. And I'll even if I get it done fast enough, I'll maybe not do it next week, but maybe it's the week after. I'll give a shout out to whoever does the fastest field strip. Next live stream, we're seeing this lens to change. Like I said, not on a live stream, but definitely, I'll definitely try and do that this weekend. I'll really make an effort to do that for you. Okay, I'm up for that. I'll do a time challenge. Definitely, I think it could be fun. I'll drive up and film you doing it live. Well, you're more than welcome to drive up, Ben, and have a cuppa with us or something. But damn, I just whacked my mic. You're welcome to come up and have a cuppa and all that sort of stuff. But I'll just put it on the tripod and strip it apart. And YouTube crackdown on PB stopped us earning money from it. Alright, see who comes out the fastest. YouTube crackdown on paintball stopped us earning money from it. Yeah, there did seem like there was a lot of that for a while. I think they've kind of eased up. I'm hearing rumours that the Adpocalypse issue has kind of died off a little bit. That's obviously there was multiple factors that played into the Adpocalypse. And mostly it was, I mean, a lot of people accused it of being blamed on PewDiePie, because the Adpocalypse from around about 2 years ago kind of coincided with PewDiePie being accused of anti-Semitism and having adverts run on his videos which were then accused of anti-Semitism. But there was also other things added into that, like, for example, as much as I hate saying it, there was a rapper who had a song that featured the N-word. I'm not a big fan of using I don't like using the proper word, and I despise using the N-word, because I feel like I'm saying, like, he who must not be named. It's a fear of a word, fear of a name is a fear of the. I can't remember what the bloody quote is from the Harry Potter books, but I feel like it's childish to say the N-word, because, and granted, it's not a word that's ever been thrown at me, but I feel like it's a fear of a word it's not a word I think anybody should be using. The actual word, not a word that I think anyone should be using. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't think anybody should actually be using that racial epithet against anyone. Only a ginger can call another ginger ginger. Yes, Tim Minchin. It's a bit along the lines of that, but it's like, I think if it's offensive to use that word, it should be offensive for everyone to use that word, regardless if you're a ginger or not. I don't think anyone should be using that word. There's a brilliant scene in the Luke Cage TV series where somebody calls him that word, and he says, "Is that all I am to you? And is that all you see when you look at me?" And say, it's a great scene in that. But yeah, I think I can't remember. I can't remember what that bloody quote is, but it's the Dumbledore to Harry thing of no, just use the real word, because fear of a word is just ridiculous. It just promotes more fear. But I also don't think that anyone should be using that word in polite conversation. Anyway, I'll move on to this. Getting sidetracked. And we're now over the 2 hours mark. Right, what are we on? Artwood, yes. Does make great content. Definitely go check them out. Prohibited content, guns, yeah. But then there's a lot of airsofters are still going, and I think for a while there was a lot of sites. I mean, I think a lot of the tournament side of stuff and things that I was doing, because I wasn't promoting. Because I think one of the big things that shut us down with making paintball content was the fact that we were shooting what looked, in some instances, we were shooting what looked like guns at other people, and I think algorithms just saw that and went, no, you're not having that. And it was because that was another reason why the adpocalypse. Oh, and that was what I was getting at with that. There was a rapper who had apparently used the N-word in a video, and then people used that as. I think it was the Wall Street Journal said, look, he has an example of where the advert's being run on a video that features the N-word. That, of course, made some advertisers pull out. There was the whole anti-Semitism thing with PewDiePie, which made some people pull out. There was then also radical. I think it was there was members of religions that were radicalized, where there was videos being featured online of them, which. That was one of the reasons why they then changed the criteria for making money on YouTube again. They basically said that, what was it? The rules are now you've got to have over 1,000 subscribers, and you've got to have 4,000 hours worth of content watched on your channel. And that's not you watching other videos. Christ, I would have passed that in a couple of weeks. But you've got to have... other people have got to have watched your content for more than 4,000 hours, and you've got to have more than 1,000 subscribers before you could make any money from your YouTube channel. So that then obviously was a massive downside for a lot of smaller YouTubers, because that's difficult to meet that criteria. But it then also stopped people posting radical or dangerous content and making money from that. And YouTube is always trying to crack down on that sort of stuff, and they've recently changed. They're changing some of the rules and regulations on what you can do for making money as well. And some of it's coming down to child abuse, because there's been some frankly fucking creepy stuff that's been getting posted up. But as a side effect, it's also going to start to affect some prank channels that have featured family prank channels and stuff. It's also going to start to affect some of that sort of stuff. I think Philip DeFranco covered some of this stuff a few weeks back, and it was quite informative, because there was the Daddy of Five scandal, which it was a bloke who was basically, a family who were basically bullying and abusing a couple of their kids, and they as pranks, and it was child abuse, and they were making shitloads of money from it. It's. So YouTube's trying to crack down on all that sort of stuff, and unfortunately I think we've kind of been hit in the crossfire of that. But fortunately it seems like the bit of that's been kind of corrected now. So it's still a bit meh, but it's I think there's a chance of we're doing all right on YouTube now as paintballers. But yes, that did stop people making money from it for a while. It affected a hell of a lot of people. There's a few YouTubers that I watched that were saying that, and big time, well not big time, but bigger YouTubers who were saying that they were losing 70% of the ad revenue, and that they were just commentators. That was, of course, then a lot of people went over to sites like Patreon, but then Patreon started messing with people recently, so then there was a big exodus of people leaving Patreon, and yeah. YouTube that and Facebook, why can't they leave paintball alone? Well, this is it. I think we need to try and find an alternative, but I'm not sure if or where things are going to go with these sites in the future. I'm not sure if we're going to have to find an alternative, or if we're going to have to go back to the forums, or even if these sites may just sort themselves out and get their heads out of their asses. Right. One of the problems is Dr. Rush. One of the problems is to be found because too many people upload crap. Yes. Now I don't know about anyone else, but go on YouTube, select most recent uploads, and then search paintball. Now I don't know if it's just me, or if it's something set up on my computer, or what it is. But if I search, I can upload a video, and I can upload a YouTube video. I can then go on YouTube, search paintball, and my videos won't show up in the search unless I search specifically for my channel or for my videos. If I search for paintball, I don't get anything from my YouTube channel. Now, I remember when I first got into paintball years ago, if you typed in paintball into most recent, you got the most recent videos. But again, YouTube's messing with its algorithms, which is causing people to not get exactly what they're searching for, not get exactly what they're wanting to see. They're getting what's suggested to them anyway. But yeah, I can upload a video and I'll like within minutes, and if you search for paintball content, it doesn't show up. But I will get stuff for like Minecraft videos where they're playing paintball in Minecraft. I don't understand what it is. But as well as that, you then do also have people posting very bad content, and like that kind of like tars everyone. So you'll then have people that'll go and look for. They'll just look up the people that they're used to watching. They'll look at people like Alabaster Slim or Nightmare PB or the Hidden Hedgehog or yourself, Dr. Rush, or Artwood, Barker, people like that, because they know that those people make good content, so they'll just ignore everything else. And that's what I've mentioned about to other people. I think people need to share. If they see something that you like, it takes 2 seconds to share something. We've all got devices in our pockets now where you can just click, 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 and it's shared. Share it and tell people about it. Let people know that you're watching something that you enjoy and that's fun, that that you can get involved with, or whatever it is. Because if you don't share it, if you just like it, for the most part, people don't see that. They just think all they see is something else that's just more screaming into the ether. End it. Quit whilst you're ahead now. Oh, Richie. I always put my foot in my mouth, man. Have the HT paintball page started up maybe a year. We have 2 videos at around the 10k mark, and both are reviews, but our first person stuff doesn't get anywhere near enough. Well, that's the thing, Tony. I've found that when you're uploading... if you're uploading first person stuff, unless people know to look at you for good quality stuff, then people will pass it up. But like all of my video, the only videos of mine that have particularly done well are like my video featuring the HDR50. That has done quite well compared to most of the other stuff in my channel. There was my video from like seven. There was my video from like 3 years ago, where I used the photos that Urban Paintball uploaded of the FMA F1 Chinese rip-off of the Dai i4s. Well, it basically, when they tested it 3 years ago, it came apart then. That did well, and that slowly kept ticking up views, because people obviously look for them. They see the mask on eBay, they then go and Google it to see if it's any good, and then they see like my video, and now obviously they see the one from Combat Zone. You've then also got stuff like my video of the trilogy, the dismantling, rebuilding of the trilogy autococker. That's done all right, but most of my headcam footage doesn't do particularly well. We're still learning editing skills, mate. You never stop. You'll always be learning editing skills. There's always something new that you can find out. That's what gave us our 10k hit, was our HDR review video. Well, that's it, because a lot of people, with the HDR50 being a relatively new product, a lot of people are very, very interested in it at the minute as well. But that's it. I mean, mine did. I think mine's sitting on some maybe some. But in fact, if I just click over here, I can. No, it's not crashed. HDR video. I think that's for the last. open that up. Yes, I don't know what's going on there. View on YouTube. Don't know why. 1,324 views. So, it's not my most viewed video, but it's certainly done better than most of my stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's it. A lot of people were interested in that product, so a lot of people came in and looked at it. I used to... There was a few of I don't know if he's still in here, but one of the other lads, Chan, one of the lads from the team that I play on, Chan, there was me, Chan, and another lad used to run a YouTube channel called Tritech UK. Now, Chan did the majority of the work, granted, but he had a video of an Azordan Blitz that he uploaded, had different firing modes that he did a video featuring all of the different firing modes that you could have on that. And I think that video, the last time I looked at it, was like about 70-odd thousand views. And it was a couple of minute long video. It was very, very basic. It was literally just over the shoulder of him shooting at like a can in his garden. That's like 70 or 80,000 views on it. And it wasn't a particularly great video. But people are obviously interested in the product and wanted to see the firing modes on it, so people tuned in to watch it. And it's stuff that just interesting. But that's the thing. I mean, if you upload interesting content and people see stuff, well, people see what you're posting, people will eventually tune in and have a look. That's all you can do, is just keep making good content. And if you're making good stuff, people will tune in. But I'll tell you what, Tony. I don't know if I'm already subscribed to your channel or not, but again, it's the same thing applies for both you and Nightmare, if he's still in the chat as well. If he's on Facebook, look us up on Facebook on Dexter's PB Lab. It's just on Facebook at Dexter's PB Lab, and send us a message with their YouTube channels. And if I like your stuff, I'll subscribe. I'll check your stuff out. And it might be an extra subscriber for you. But yeah, I'll have a look anyway. Anyway, guys, well, this is 2.25 hours that I've been live streaming now. I normally try and like to keep this around about the 2-hour mark, so I think I'm going to end this there. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for entertaining me, and I hope I've entertained you. If I did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. If you don't want to, don't worry about it. I'm gonna continue to make these anyway. Thank you very much for yes, I need to go to sleep now. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I hope you have had fun. I certainly have. And I shall see you.